I had some people ask me some questions, and I wanted to make another video, not a very long video, but just another video kind of dealing with obtaining a boat like this. How I already explained that this one was, the owner was deceased, and the marina came to me about disposing of the boat, and that's how it came to be. But there's actually more ways that you, as a private individual, can go to large marinas and simply ask, do you have any derelict vessels? Do you have any boats that need to go away? And that I did when I first started out years ago, and it actually works. I mean, you don't want to waste time with the little tiny mom and pop operations, but you go on the bigger ones like Titusville or some of the ones that are further south on the coast. Down south, they're very strict, and they tend to want nobody leaving a boat laying around very long. So a lot of people down there, if they end up with a boat that's a problem, they will want it gone. And if you just reach out, you can generally find, oh, and please don't board anyone's vessel without their permission. It's against the law. And don't take a boat without good paperwork, because you'll end up with their headache. Always make sure like I would not have taken this boat on if it would not have had proper paperwork. But everything was in order, so it was a win-win. But I've had boats we've had to remove from marinas in the past with no paperwork, and you can get in serious trouble for that. So please take that to heed when you go looking for a big boat. Also, when you're looking for a big boat, check it out thoroughly. I mean, I know what to look for, but you can't just go find the SS Minnow and jump on it and sail off in the sunset. It's not going to be like that. Most of these boats that are at marinas, they've been there for years, they want them gone. There's a reason they're still there. I mean, just like this. This is 83 tons of boat, and you can't just go stick it at any marina. It's very limited to where it can go. Do your research, take your time, and just look at the options before you jump. Make sure you can do the work. Make sure that you can put it somewhere. Make sure you have a place to keep it. Pick the type of vessel you want. There's people that like sailboats. Fine. People like catamarans. People like monohulls. People like ships, basically, and it's basically a ship. Technically, mine's almost considered, well, it would be considered a ship because I've been on ships that were only 48 feet long. So, yeah, I mean, but do your homework on everything. The power, can you work on it? Can you repair it? Are you going to have to pay to have it repaired? Are you going to have to find somebody to do the work for you? How can you afford that? I mean, boat ownership is a careful thing, and it can be affordable, but it can also be your worst nightmare. I mean, everything has to be looked at. I mean, everything. I mean, that's normally when people with deep pockets buy boats like this, they have surveys done. And that's where they take the boat out of the water and a guy comes on, or a girl, it doesn't matter. I know a girl that's trying to get into surveying right now. But they look at everything. They look and they assess the value, they assess the damage, and they give you an idea of, hey, if you buy this, this is what it's worth, this is what it's going to take, and this is how much money you should spend, or they could tell you to walk away. Especially, you got to let the surveyor know, hey, I don't have experience, this is my first investment, and is this a good boat for me? And if it's a turnkey motor yacht and really, something like this girl down here on the end, it's like a $4 million yacht. Of course, it's going to be a beautiful deal. Then you got Rick's little one here, they lived in that for 5 years, him and his wife. And it's a nice boat. It's got air conditioning, it's got all the amenities of home, but they're selling it. They bought a house. They're tired of the water life. So deals come along. That's a nice turnkey boat, but I guarantee it's not going to be one you could get for free. You know, when you buy a free boat, it's going to be, and really I can't say it's going to be a train wreck, because if you ask marinas, there's a lot of times it's because it was left in storage and they didn't pay their bills. And when that happens, you get a decent boat most of the time. And I would, depending on what part of the country you're in, the South is the best place. I haven't really taken many boats, nor have I have any desire to take any boats from far away. I got one right now in Savannah, a 38-footer, Catalina sailboat with a broken rudder, and it was a free boat. But I can't even dump it on the market for $2,500 right now. It's going to end up being salvage. But I don't have to worry about that because it's at a marina and the marina put it there. And unless I go and grab the little fingers on it, it's their responsibility since they tied the boat up. But it's still, I'm trying to dump it, get it out of there, be the nice guy and do my job. That's what my company does, gets rid of boats. So if you look around, you'll find a boat that will give you what you're looking for. Me, I was looking for something I could live in. I know this is kind of, absurd to want 73 feet of motor yacht, but I've been around a lot of boats, and frankly, I didn't want to be crammed in a small boat. I mean, Rick's boat's cute and all that, but that's 34 feet. That's not living. I mean, my salon's more than 34 feet. I got a full-size residential kitchen in there, double-door refrigerator, got microwave. I got everything to make living on land suck. Because this is I wake up with the sun over there. I go to bed with the sun over here. And it's like you get $1 million view. The waves hitting the boat. If I quit talking and you just listen for a second, there's nothing out here. It's silent. You can hear the hum of my air conditioner and that's it. But it is peaceful. I mean, nobody is home out here except that big ship down there. Everybody's out of town. Rick moved to a house. She comes in the evening in her catamaran. She works in town. Her husband passed. That boat doesn't go nowhere. The next boat down, they live up in Pennsylvania. They come down, they stay on the boat most of the time, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And these people have been here for years and years and years. And this guy down on the end with the big ship, he's a rich investor. And the captain's down there and one of his crew member that work on the boat, but that boat stays gone when hurricane season is not here. Hurricane season, tied up right there. But you really just have to decide what is right for you. What are you willing to live with? Because it's going to be cheaper in the long run if you get the right boat and you figure out your budget. The budget's going to be the key thing to owning a boat. It doesn't cost a fortune to own it if you can do the sweat equity yourself, if you can source out a boat cheap, if you can source out a place to keep it, or if you can off-grid it, because the schoolie thing has been very popular. It's getting more popular. Bus demand's sky high. They're getting $100,000 for a converted schoolie. You can do the same thing with a boat. It's still a vehicle. It still can be solar. It still can give all the amenities. I mean, go online, go to YouTube, my favorite place, and look at schoolies. And then take the knowledge you learn from off-grid systems, like I did, and apply it to this. I mean, all the things that can go in a schoolie can go in a yachty. Or even something like Rick's. There's not a lot. The thing about a small boat, you don't have a lot of room for solar. I don't have that issue. I got enough room for as much as I want. I could put 10,000, 12,000 watts of panels up there and not even crowd the boat. Matter of fact, I'm going to end up giving myself a nice upper ceiling so I'll have more deck space. I've already got a massive bow and good, fairly decent sized stern, but my top side deck is open to the sun, and well, this is Florida. I mean, I guess if you were up north, you'd like to go out and bake, but down here, you see me. There's the sun. There's the sun. I'm in the shade. So it's one of those things where I urge you to do your homework. Or, talk to people. Knowledge is power. Look at videos like this and learn from people that are doing this, and make sure you don't take something that's going to sink on you. I mean, this boat can't sink. It could, but you would have to basically probably shoot it with a torpedo, mainly because it's compartmentized. That's another thing to look at in big boats. In other words, right about where the front of this boat is down below, well, it's right about here, right about under the galley. There is a solid steel wall that goes all the way up to the top of the floor, and it's sealed. And there's a sealed steel door that bungs down. And if that's bunged down, if there's a hole up here, it ain't getting in this section. And then behind the fuel tanks in the rear, there's another bulkheaded wall, and it don't open. It's a solid wall to the top past the fuel tanks. So if you punch a hole in the engine room, you close that door, the boat's still going to be floated by this nose and that section aft. And if the tanks are empty, you got buoyancy from that too. But normally you can look around at some of these boats and see how far down the water they are. Me, I just step off the pier onto mine. It's a very tall boat. So this is the St. John's. If I start having water come in, I can run it aground real easy until I can figure out what made the hole. Pump it out and then float it off. So looking at a boat, you want to look at all the safety features that are with it. Termites, there's another biggie. This boat was ate up with termites, and the marina, fortunately, tinted the boat twice. So any little buggies that were living on here having La Vida Loca, well, they're gone. And that's part of the repairs. Most of the repairs are compromised decks from bad maintenance, water getting under the gel coat, splitting, cracking. But that's the kind of stuff we'll discuss in other videos. This mainly is for people looking at an alternative way to live that you probably wouldn't think would be possible. Because when I started this venture, it was 3 years ago. I've moved up in boats. I was pretty much set on doing a schoolie on a piece of property. That was going to be my gig. But then I started looking around and realizing that I could get big boats. They were obtainable. They were easy to find, relatively. I know there's several right now that I've turned down because, well, I wanted bigger. I wanted, this. I didn't want a 44 or 50. I had opportunities for many Hatterases down at marinas. And I would even recommend looking in that area. Go look in Tarpon Springs. There's a lot of big boats there, surprisingly. And Port Charlotte. And St. Petersburg, another place where there's a lot of boats. A lot of boats. Tampa Bay area. Not much Orlando. Orlando's too inland. You got to be on a coastal town and a big city. Titusville. They got a fairly good, selection of boats down in that area. Cape Canaveral's got a lot down there, especially around the port of Canaveral. A lot of big boats down there, a lot of yards. So, do your homework. Do the driving. Do the calling. The internet's not going to bring up too many of these. They won't. I've looked on the internet, and most of the stuff you find on the internet, it's not going to be even worth going to look at. If it is, somebody's going to buy it quick. All right, another thing to look at, who builds it? I know you're thinking, well, why would that matter? It's a chunk of fiberglass that goes down the water. Well, certain builders, I don't want to call out any names to get in any kind of trouble, but there are boats out there where the builders, well, hell, I'll give you one, Bayliner. Yeah, I've seen some nice big Bayliners, but for the most part, they don't have much resale value. And that's, if you plan on moving up or selling, you got to look at, if I dump a lot of money in this, is it going to bring me anything in return? Well, with this boat, it's a Huckins, and they've been in business, well, since 1928. They survived the Depression. They survived the war. As a matter of fact, they thrived during the war because They were the ones, well, one of the companies, other than Inco and another builder, but their hull design was what was used for the PT boats. They had to farm out because I think the way Hutkin stayed in business is their boats are one of one. And mass production is not something they would be good at. So they used their design to build the PT boat. It's kind of fitting when you think about it that I've got a boat built by the company that made PT boats, tied up to a pier, designed for PT boats. Kind of cool. But anyway, make sure that you do your homework. That's all I'm saying. Due diligence. You don't want to end up with a headache. I mean, legally, you end up with this thing, it's yours. You can't just walk away and say, oh, I don't want to do this no more. That don't work like that. If it's in your name, it's your boat. And they will come at you. I've seen people get in so much trouble with the Fish and Game. Because if they come and deem your boat derelict, non-operational, and you can't prove it is, you can't get it, turn the key and make it go, and it's out there anchored in their little harbor, they're going to put a tag on it. If they put a tag on it, that freezes you selling it, and it also gets you a court date as a misdemeanor. Then you got to go deal with that. And that, my friends, can be a headache. I got a boat right now that a gentleman was paid to bring it here from Jacksonville Beach to Palatka at City Dock. And he got in two kinds of trouble. He ran aground once, couldn't get the motor running a second time. And then when he finally called me, he had passed Palatka and took it down to Dunn's Creek. Not only take it to Dunn's Creek, he parked it under Dunn's Creek Bridge where meth heads live in their sailboats. And they got on the boat and they scuttled the boat. And now I'm liable for the boat. So I speak from experience when it's easy for the wrong thing to happen to the right people. It's easy. And with good planning, with good searching, with due diligence, you can do this. You can make yourself off-grid, stop paying bills. You know, yeah, you got to have car insurance, unless you want to give up your vehicle. You're going to need that. And you need I prefer to have a support trailer that I can put behind my truck because I've got a storage shed. I have ability to keep tools and equipment and spares. I mean, yes, I can keep them on this, but you need to have a backup plan for if anything happens, you know where you're going to bug out to. I mean, literally, if the boat starts taking on water, do you have enough pumps? Do you have enough bilges? We'll discuss all that in another video too. Mainly, I'm just trying to talk about ownership in this video, and I don't want to stray. So I'll cut this video off now. And like I said, all I want people to do is do your research, do your research, do your research. I can't stress it enough. I mean, it's easy to get that golden thing in your... My dad used to say it. Son, take off them rose-colored glasses. He used to tell me that all the time. He told me that when I bought my first boat. And after I was in a 44-foot trawler, he didn't say it no more because I really, by that time, there was no more rose-colored glasses. I knew what to look for. I knew how to look for it. And now here I am at this, 73 feet. But it's taken a long road to get here and a lot of planning to get this far. A lot of purchasing material. That's another thing that I want to dwell on in this video really quick. Like, material is critical. If you're going to do decks, you're going to have to know how much plywood. You're going to have to realize that a gallon of polyester resin is almost $60, and it don't go far. It don't go far at all. You'll go through that stuff like a fat kid eats cake. So make sure you know when you look at the damage of the vessel that you're picking, it's within your scope and your budget. Nobody else is going to come out here and just start donating material to you. I mean, it's definitely a planned game that you need a grease board on the wall, and you need, if you've got a second half, you need to make sure she's in the planning stage, or he's in the planning stage, or whoever your mate is in the planning stages and all on board about doing the project with you. because unless you're somebody like me that likes being alone, then it can be a lonely place out here working by yourself. All right, well, I'm going to sign off for now. Like I said, like and subscribe and keep watching my videos, and I'll keep posting more on this awesome journey of putting this big lady back together. All right, signing off. Bye now.